America is home to some of the richest people on earth. The stock market keeps breaking records. Luxury cars fill the roads. Billion-dollar companies are created every year. On social media, everyone seems to be winning. But behind the image of prosperity lies a question millions of Americans are asking right now. Why does it feel harder than ever to buy a home? How can a country that looks so wealthy produce a generation that feels locked out of home ownership? What if the housing market isn't just about houses anymore? What if it's become something entirely different? A giant investment machine connected to Wall Street, retirement funds, and global wealth. Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the biggest financial stories in America. Because once you understand what's really happening in real estate, you'll never look at a house the same way again. For most of American history, a house had one primary purpose: a place to live. Families bought homes, raised children, built memories, and slowly accumulated wealth over decades. Homeownership became the symbol of the American dream. But somewhere along the way, something changed. Today, homes are increasingly viewed as assets rather than shelter. Investors analyze neighborhoods the same way they analyze stocks. Large institutions purchase thousands of properties at once. Investment funds compete with ordinary families trying to buy their first home. A house is no longer simply where people live. It's where capital flows. Every interest rate decision, every inflation report, and every economic shock can impact housing prices. And as housing became more financialized, the rules changed. The people with the most money gained the greatest advantage. Suddenly, teachers, nurses, and young professionals weren't only competing against neighbors. They were competing against investors, hedge funds, and corporations with billions in buying power. The question is no longer who wants a home. The question is, who can afford to play the game? Most people think the stock market and housing market are completely different worlds. In reality, they're deeply connected. When investors feel confident, money flows into stocks, real estate, and other assets simultaneously. When interest rates fall, borrowing becomes cheaper, and both markets often rise together. When central banks inject liquidity into the economy, asset prices frequently surge. That's exactly what happened after major economic crises. Trillions of dollars entered financial markets, searching for returns. Some of that money found its way into real estate. Housing prices accelerated. Investors rushed to acquire rental properties. Home values climbed faster than wages. Meanwhile, many Americans watched from the sidelines as the dream moved further away. The same forces pushing stock portfolios higher were often pushing home prices beyond reach. What looked like prosperity on paper sometimes translated into affordability problems in real life. And as more capital entered housing, homes increasingly behaved like investment vehicles rather than consumer goods. The result? A market where financial trends can matter just as much as neighborhood fundamentals. Imagine saving for years to purchase your first home. You finally find the perfect property, then an all-cash offer appears. No financing, no inspection delays, no negotiation, just cash. Increasingly, this is the reality many buyers face. Across America, institutional investors, private equity firms, and large-scale landlords have become major players in residential real estate. They aren't buying one house at a time. They're buying entire portfolios, entire neighborhoods, entire developments. For these organizations, homes generate rental income, asset appreciation, and long-term investment returns. To them, a house can be a financial product. To families, it's often their future. This growing tension is reshaping communities across the country. Some economists argue that investor participation increases market efficiency. Others warn it contributes to affordability challenges. Regardless of where you stand, one thing is undeniable. The housing market of today looks very different from the housing market your parents knew. And the people influencing prices may not even live in the neighborhoods they're buying. If homes have become investments, and investments are increasingly influenced by money flows, interest rates, and financial institutions, What happens next? That's the question keeping economists, investors, and home buyers awake at night. Some believe housing prices will continue rising because supply remains limited. Others believe affordability pressures are reaching a breaking point. Then there's an even bigger possibility. What if the future of housing isn't about owning property at all? What if younger generations are entering a world where renting becomes the norm and ownership becomes a luxury? Nobody knows exactly how this story ends. But one thing is certain, the housing market is no longer just about houses. It's about wealth, power, economics, and the future of the American dream itself. And understanding that reality may be the most important financial lesson of our time. In the next episode, we'll uncover a disturbing question that could change the way you think about real estate forever. If America keeps building wealth, why are millions of people feeling poorer? Is the housing market making people rich or quietly making them financially trapped? Next episode, The Wealth Trap. Why rising home prices might be making America poorer.